All right, hey everybody.
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
back to Imperfect Fighters. Today we have some friends and some guests with us this morning. First, we have the lovely couple, the Gilchristis.
Yikes.
Awesome. So yeah, hey guys, I'm Devontae Gilchrist, and this is my wife, Danielle.
That's me.
So, hey, I'm Christine. I'm an influencer out of New Jersey.
Awesome. And then we have Christian.
I'm Chris. I do a lot of video stuff. It's pretty much
Awesome. And this is Adam.
Hey, Adam.
We are going to start off with a little game today. So everybody has their yes and no cards. I'm gonna ask a question. It's towards the men, but so the men are going to answer, and women, you are going to answer. So Danielle, you would answer if Devontae actually does this, yes or no. And Christine, you are answering on whether you actually experienced this from men, like just in general. And Christian, you're going to, we're hoping you will be honest and answer on whether or not you actually do this towards women in general. Okay? And you are going to be answering as well. And I'm going to see if you're going to lie.
I don't lie.
Okay, so the first question is, oh, here we go. Do you hold the door for your lady and other women?
Wait. Okay, so I was like,
So do men, yeah, okay. Next question. Do you offer your jacket to your lady or another woman if she is cold?
Your own jacket.
She's like, I guess.
Have you ever or do you ever give up your seat for a woman if she is standing and no seats are available? Okay. Initiate dates.
Like me, myself, or the man?
A man. Do you experience men initiating dates more, or do you feel like there's a little bit of a pullback? Okay. Do you take your hats off in buildings and in the presence of ladies?
Nah.
I'm really thinking about this.
Wait a second.
Yeah, you can definitely think about it. Okay. And now, next question.
Stays on.
Here we go. Do you walk on the outside of the sidewalk?
Are you serious? That's not true. That is not true.
I don't
I disagree.
Sir,
That's
if
not
I
true.
don't bring it to your attention that I'm about to get hit by a car, you definitely don't shift.
No,
Oh my God.
that's not true. Sometimes we walk out.
If you,
They over here explaining.
Okay.
yeah, so she's saying as soon as we hit the street, like not even a full second has gone by, and she's looking like let me realize that we're on the street, like, decided the street.
How long does it take for you to realize?
As soon as we take a step,
No, I agree with that. I agree because we walk out and it distracts me with some conversation,
Now I'm about to do
and
the
then you
same
don't
thing.
think about it. So if I walked out and it was silent, I would be like, okay, let me stand on the outside of the sidewalk.
So you can't think about more than one thing
Not
at
when,
a time?
not after you go shopping, doing all this
Bruh.
stuff. A lot of stuff to take into mind. A lot of stuff to take into mind.
Wow,
How much money they just spent? Just kidding.
my mind is
The
blown.
budget.
thank you.
My husband
Gonna have a
absolutely does not
successful
do that.
marriage.
As a
Devon.
matter of fact, we had this conversation a few years ago, and he didn't even know he was supposed to be on the outside of the street.
All right,
Ooh.
let's keep going. Let's keep going. This
There's
process-
some guys who don't know.
Sidewalks
but,
change.
yeah.
I'm aware of it.
That's why I'm like,
Depending on what side of these.
No, the sidewalk doesn't change.
There was one time, I can't lie, there was one time we were walking and you were like, dang, babe, really? And I was like, dang. Like, it's like my mind was busy on stuff and it did slip my mind.
Mhm.
But that's something generally I do.
Here we go.
And I do with my kids. Like, I shift everybody to the.
Aw.
We're gonna take his yes and my no. Next one. Do you walk in front of your lady?
No, I don't walk in front of you. Wait, I don't. Wait.
Wait, what?
If you're gonna get jumped, where should I be?
So, like, as an explanation, so everybody understands. Let's say if you are walking into an event or there's like a group of people or you're walking through a crowd, do you lead her? Like, do you take her hand and lead her through the way? Or do you kind of just walk and then like...
That's the case. If you're leading, then yeah. If you're going to like an event and you're going through a crowd, then yeah. But like,
Yes.
for me, but like if you're like on the sidewalk or something like that, then yeah, I would walk next. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
walk
like-
next to you.
Yeah.
You're walking up the stairs. Should they walk behind or in front? You know, they be trying to wait behind, you know, so they could see you walk by. So that's all.
What? See?
Well, I do that.
Going up the
Be like, all right, you could go. I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm. My husband is stay walking behind me.
100%.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Do you believe that real chivalry still exists? Nice. Okay, so we'll start with Christine. Why do you say yes?
I mean, I like to hope it, and I feel like there's glimpses that I experience, like chivalry when it comes to a man's manners.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Other than that, I'm hopeful.
So, Christian, what about you?
I think it does still exist, just because there's a lot of people that I know personally, and I know that myself. It's just something that we grew up with our parents and stuff like that, teaching us that type of stuff. So it's not like it's a learned behavior that we know what to do. We know how to treat a lady. You know what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know. To me, it's just it's a natural thing to think about and to do, and to keep her around. So that's just me.
So you're saying outside of you, you also see that from men that are around you.
Sometimes, yeah, not all the time, but yeah, there is.
Okay, so it's more often than not. Okay.
I think I'm seeing it less and less lately with the younger men and in general, like just the movements. That's the reason I said no, is because the overall movements of how men are moving, like they're not really holding the door for women. They're not being respectful when they enter the room. You'll see on the bus or public transportation that they don't get up if there's a lady standing. Like, so I for me, I'm thinking I'm seeing like a shift for the few. Come on, buddy. The few guys that there are that are doing it, yes, that's still happening. But in general, I'm seeing like a decrease of that. And, probably the values are not being taught to younger guys and that kind of thing. So.
Okay. Devante, you said no, but Danielle, you said yes. So why do you say no, Devante? Well, we'll go with Danielle first. Why did you say yes?
That's just based off my own personal experience. I've always experienced, especially with my husband. Like my husband, he still opens the car door for me, when we're going out and stuff like that. So like in my personal experience, he's very chivalrous is the word, right? And like other guys that I've dated, I have experienced like chivalry from them. But I think that in general, like overall, like Patrick said, I do think it's on a decline. Like I don't see it as common as I would like to see it. But I know that it exists and I've experienced it with different people. So that's why I said yes.
Yeah. And I said no because I think like you guys said, less guys are doing it, but also the expectations from a woman's point of view is different too. Like I've dated women where they're trying to open the door for me. Like they're opening the door and I'm like, what are you doing? And like, I'm opening the door for you. I'm being nice. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what about chivalry? You know, like what happened to that? Like, yeah. So it's kind of like strange to me, like how like a lot of guys nowadays are not doing it, and also women are not expecting it.
Right.
So if we're not expecting it, a lot of times we're not gonna do it. You know.
That's what I was gonna say with Danielle when she was saying that that's what she's experienced. I was gonna say is that because you made that expectation and the guys that you dated know, okay, this is what she's expecting from me, so I have to do it? Or is it just in general that like every guy that you're coming across, you're experiencing this?
Yeah, probably the first option, right? I think it's like
they knew that this is what you expect.
Teach people how to treat you,
right?
You know, type. And then if you set that expectation, then hopefully they'll rise to the occasion. But if there's no expectation going into it, it's a free for all, and it's like, oh, I don't have to open the door for you. You know, you can open it yourself.
Right.
It's equality or something. I don't know.
Well, you didn't teach me though. You did not teach
there
me.
We go.
I'll say that.
No,
he was like, I was ready.
Not the bad did.
And that's also why I said no as well, is because I do see a shift, and the whole women are equal to men type of thing. I feel like our equal rights doesn't necessarily mean for you to treat us like we're a dude. Like that doesn't mean slam the door in my face when I'm walking into a store, or if you see me standing somewhere and you're sitting down comfortable, you shouldn't like say, hey, you know what? Let me give you my chair. Like, I think that it gets mixed up with the whole fact that we want rights. Adam, please stop. Thank you. I think it gets mixed up with the fact that we want rights and to be able to have a voice gets mixed up with, oh, you want to be a man. We don't want to be men. We just want to actually be heard and be respected. So that's why I said no. Has there been a shift in dating from 5 years ago till now? I don't know if you guys are currently dating, but I know you do continue to talk to the opposite sex, or you guys are having interaction with others. Do you feel like there's any shift?
I say it's a tough one. So I say like yes and no. For me, 5 years ago, I was single, but I feel like, and I'm 28, so to give perspective as far as time, that's 23. So I feel like when I was 23, men were at an abundance to an extent. Like people are kind of looking to date and let me see relationships, like try it out, versus like now at 28, I feel like there's kind of like not a hesitation, but almost like a scarcity. Like right now I see people in long-term, like in commitments, or it's mostly my run-in is like, okay, I'm talking to a guy and I just stepped into the dating pool just to like make that, you know, clear, because I was dating, took my time, 3 years, and now I'm here now. And it's like, oh, I have a kid, and no, like, you know, slander to anybody who might have children, but it's like, okay, I have 2 kids, or I have 2 baby mamas, 3, like, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm only 28, you know, I'm just stepping in. So obviously I feel like there's a difference there, but and I guess like maturity wise too, between when I was 23 and dating versus 28 and dating, there's more responsibility. Like for the men that I'm attracted to, usually they're older, not like 40 or nothing, but you know, several years older, and they definitely have more responsibility. And
so are you
not
finding
all the time in the world.
Now at your age, you're finding more men that do already have kids and or maybe have been divorced already, and that's what is that what you mean by the responsibility?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could just be like, oh, I just stepped in, I just, you know, happened to, you know, run into these people or whatever, or those are the ones that are attracted to me. But Yeah, I would say so.
I think you made a good point, Christine. Just 5 years ago, it was completely different, especially with that maturity thing. I think that's a really big statement there. I know for me, like I was dating 5 years ago, but obviously I was a lot younger. I wasn't thinking about long-term like marriage and kids and all that type of stuff. So to me, yeah, so now that I'm a bit older and I see everybody in these relationships and these marriages and everything like that, it's kind of like, okay, it's like a mind. It's time to get there. Yeah. So I think just mentally, it's just a different type of energy.
Okay. Notice a shift, Danielle and Devante, from when you guys started dating to now? Like in just like his role in the relationship? Like, do you feel like was he more aggressive when you guys first started dating? Has he gotten a little more calm? Like,
that's a good question.
Answer honestly.
So I feel like in the beginning we used to, so there was a lot of excitement, but then there was also a lot of us having to learn each other. Mm-hmm. So it was like we got into a lot of like petty little arguments, and we had to learn each other's like pet peeves and things that I did that he didn't like, or he did that I didn't like, and we didn't communicate well, right, about those things. So I think it was more exciting, but it was also a very turbulent time in our relationship because of just, we're two different people. We're getting to know each other in that way. Like, we already knew each other as friends, but getting to know each other like in a relationship is totally different, And so I think that as the relationship progressed, things like smoothed out. We kind of learned how to communicate with each other better, and like it calmed down in a sense where we weren't always like as combative, but right. We got more, I don't want to use the word comfortable, but I think we got more
it's okay, you get comfortable
in like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is working, I found something that works for me, and this is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's how it changed.
That's similar for us. He's more aggressive now, I would say, than he was when we were dating. Like when we first started talking, he was more like laid back and kind of let me kind of come to him with certain things, or like whatever. Now he's more like, this is what I need to get done, this is what needs to happen. He's more like aggressive, more, I guess, alpha male. I don't know if that's what you call it.
Assertive.
Here we go. Yes, he's more assertive now, whereas when we were dating before, he was definitely more, I don't know if he was trying to fill me out to say, okay, I don't want to step on her toes right away, she might kill me, so let me just figure out who she is, like you were saying, like we were learning each other. But now I do notice that he's definitely more like, okay, this is what needs to be done. Dina, this is what I need, or this is what I don't need, yes or no. It's more black and white rather than sparkly.
Because I'm getting old and I don't have time.
Here we go.
We got time, got 3 kids, you know what I mean? Don't have time for the lay back. Oh, I don't got time to think and let it play out. But yeah, I mean, it changes. It changes, especially when you grow. You learn more about yourself, especially when you start getting in a relationship. Every relationship that you go through is learning experience to build your character, whether good or bad. So as you go through different relationships, your approach, I can speak for a man, is going to be different because you learn. The person prior to the person that you're with could have been very harsh, and so now you kind of stepped up to be more aggressive, or that kind of thing, or those things change. But it's just your growth is what brings it out, and your experiences.
So do you feel like you need to shut me down more?
The next question, please.
So he doesn't want to answer.
I'll come back to what Christian said.
Okay.
I feel like when we started dating, I was very like what's the word? Maybe like aggressive. Like I kind of like let her know things I didn't like. I was very like forward, you know? Yeah, I was very forward. And then it was like she had to like tell me like, you can't tell me what to do, you know, you gotta like communicate in a different kind of way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? All I'm saying is like the truth, you know? And then she was like, yeah, but the messaging, like if you just tell me as a suggestion, as opposed to like telling me, oh, this is not like the right thing to do, and thinking logically all the time, I was like, oh. And I was like, I kind of do that in all my relationships. So I was like, okay, this is a pattern for me. So I got to change this up because obviously I'm the common denominator. So I changed it up. I was like, you know, maybe you should. Yeah. And maybe you should think about.
Don't tell me what to do. How about you give me a suggestion?
Yeah.
And then let me make the choice, you know?
And then she was like, I was like, wow, she's really coming around. So now I'm like, you know, this is your decision. But maybe you should.
All right. Now you're doing too much. Now I know you're trying to play me.
You tell your secrets. You can't do that, man. It's too early in the marriage for you to tell your secrets, man.
Exactly. No. Don't worry. There's plenty more. That's just one.
There's more.
Before you bring out your secrets. I'm going to use that one today, though. I ain't going to lie.
There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, don't worry.
So, Christine, would you prefer a guy to be more assertive or more laid back?
Assertive.
Nice. So you want a guy that knows what he wants. Just tell me what it is straight up.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Christian? Are you more assertive in relationships or laid back?
I think what Patrick said, or what you said, Dina. I know from my last relationship that lasted about 4 years. So for me, at the beginning, I was smooth. Like I was very calm, and like I wasn't very like aggressive. I didn't really, go at it. But I think it depends now, because it depends on the woman that you're talking to. Because if that woman has experience with relationships and dating and all that type of stuff, she would know like what type of dude that she wants. If she wants assertive, okay, you can get assertive. But if you want like a more laid back, calm person, so I think to me it just depends on what she wants, and then I'll play out for that, and then we're all happy.
Nice. I like that. You're out to please your woman.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I would like to be laid back and just and be more assertive. I ain't gonna lie. I would like that.
When I'm assertive, let's be real here. When I'm assertive, my husband tells me that I'm either nitpicking at stuff.
No.
Or excuse me.
Assertive doesn't mean nagging. There's two things.
I don't know if you know the difference.
No, assertive is like, okay, you're stepping up and say, all right, here's the decision, whatever. There's, oh, you're not doing this.
No, see, I don't even do that.
That's two different things.
I don't even do that.
That's not assertive.
I don't even do that. If I tell Patrick, okay, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, you're like, oh my God, like, can I do anything, right? But then if I don't say anything, you're telling me, well, why didn't you say that you need to be doing? Like when I do stuff on my own and I'm like, I don't need you, I'm gonna do it by myself. He's like, well, why didn't you just ask me? Like I could have did it. Do you need help? And it's like when I do ask for the help, you're like, oh my God, like I have to do everything.
Can't win.
He doesn't. You can't win. He doesn't know what he really wants. He doesn't know if he really wants me to be assertive. Because naturally, I would say I am assertive. I am more of the, okay, this is what I need to get done, and we need to get this done, and that's it. But I have had to adjust because I know it depends on the situation with Patrick on whether I can be assertive or if it has to be something where I have to like approach it delicately with Patrick, because sometimes he'll take it as me attacking, and if it's a different situation, he'll be like, oh, okay, so this just needs to get done. And that's usually what it is. I'm just telling you, it just needs to get done. He wants to move on. So, okay, here's a question I would like for Christian and Christine. With the I don't know if you guys have been on dates lately. Do you guys wear masks? Like, is it hard to see? Like, I know a lot of people are like, it's usually when you see somebody, if you're attracted to them or not. Is it harder when you like only see the eyes on whether or not you actually want to talk to this person? Because when that mask comes down, it's like a different story.
That's true. That is so true.
That's why I like that. Like the eyes can be beautiful, and all that type of stuff. But it also depends. But I'm not all about physical though. It's really about mental as well, and like the way you carry yourself as a person.
Come on with that good answer. First of all, no matter how good the personality is, if the eyes look good and the personality is good, and then they come down here, you got a donkey jaw.
Oh my God!
You ain't gonna be like, man, that personality is good. That personality is good.
Yo, this guy is ruthless. I can't believe you just said that.
But he's keeping it real. I think it's real though, because I think people like to kind of be like, oh, at the end of the day, if their personality, but I feel like attraction does trump a lot of people. But for me, I mean, I think first meeting someone like this is tough to judge them. Like I had somebody approach me like a couple weeks ago and they were like, oh, it was like the security guard somewhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, he looked like he looked fine, together.
Right.
And I've since seen him and he's fine, thank God. But like at the same time, you're not really like, can I see your face? So it's kind of like the hopefulness. And I've also been on a date where I did, it's over dinner, so you have to take your stuff off, and everything was fine. But is it hard to approach or to accept like a welcome or an invite to talk or go on a date like that? I would say yes, it makes you second guess, but in my experience, I'm glad that I've like, let me see, because I don't know. I'm not gonna like completely shut it down. I know that I'll see them when I give them the opportunity.
So do you think it's kind of a different shift because now you're kind of forced to get to know somebody before you get to see them, almost like you only get like half of it before you actually get to have a conversation?
Yes, like it's more like a first impressions thing. Not like get to know you, but like based off of that impression alone and just seeing your eyes, like the vibe or chemistry, that's what I'm going off of. Like this makes a big deal to me too, because I don't need nobody with no messed up grill, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a teeth person, so it's like it's important.
So how does that work?
That's what I'm saying, leap of faith. I was like, you know what, they did seem nice, blah blah blah. I mean, if it was bad, then I'd be like, all right, gotta go. Just cut things short. I think it's important to like not have like a high expectation when it comes to meeting people these days, or like dates, like the first time you're meeting somebody. So like meetups, like let's get coffee or some small bite, like as long as it's in their budget, you have to be able to feel people out too.
So, okay, so you said not to have such high expectation. So that kind of confirms what I said. So now you guys are almost forced to really get to know somebody before you kind of, because I know for me, like once I got into like my 20s, anybody that approached me, I was really crazy. It was like, okay, can I see myself with this person for the rest of my life? And that's literally how I used to think all the time. Like if a guy came up to me, depending on how he spoke to me, how he looked, can I deal with you in my life for the rest of my life? I don't care if it was 30 seconds that I just met you. That's how my mind was thinking. So now that you guys have like this shift in how you're dating and how you guys have to speak to each other, you can't even do that. Like you have to be like, okay, let me wait until this mask comes off to see that if I even want to look at you for the rest of my life.
That's
right.
True. I agree.
So, is there also another hesitation as far as being that COVID is still around? Like, are you nervous to like meet new people?
Like,
all right, so to me, I'm not nervous in the first place. So if you want to meet up, let's meet up. But the stage that I'm in right now, even with this whole pandemic, I'm not even looking to even try to meet up with you, just because I'm in a whole different mindset of, I'm just trying to, like build up my career and do all these things that I'm trying to do now that I'm in my early 20s. So then that way, when I do find that person, I can be set for them. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, that's the type of mindset that I'm in right now. I want to work on myself. I want to work on my mindset, my career, everything. So then that way,
Christian is your number one cheerleader. Like, he does not stop talking about. He's like, you see, Christian, he's a hard worker, and he has his mind set, and he has tunnel vision, and he's ready to. When he's ready to settle down, he's gonna be ready for real. Because like when I tell you, Patrick talks about you so much, it's crazy. Like, I feel like maybe I should just leave him and date you. That's how much he talks about you.
Sure. No, but like, yeah, that's actually like legit. That's how my mindset is right now. And I had to go through like a rough patch of like relationship in order to see that, in order to get my mindset to that place that I am right now. So whoever the next lady is, she's gonna be set.
Awesome. Danielle and Devante, how do you guys keep it? Well, I know you're newlyweds, but there is still a shift now that like things are limited that couples can do or like people can do. What do you do in your relationship to like kind of like for date nights and to have fun and to do stuff?
Okay, so I know it's COVID and everything like that, but like, because like I recently just got a new job and I do work like more often now, I told her that we definitely got to do like one date night at least a week. Going out, I think we do Thursdays, right? Wednesdays or Thursdays. We go out to eat to a place. So it's kind of like, I wish we could like go out as much as as we can, but sometimes we'll go on walks and those kind of things. Picnics we've done too. But those are like things like just the basics that we just try to do like at least every week or every 2 weeks, try to keep things interesting. But it kind of sucks because COVID kind of just is your option. So I'm like, even before when we were engaged, we're used to going out every single week, whole weekend we're out, all these kind of things. And it kind of like COVID was just like, all right, stay inside now, So that's kind of disappointing, but I think she can.
But I do think like it's helped us. Well, number one, it helped us to save. But number two, like we've had to get a little more like creative. So I mean, it's been terrible because we just moved like to a new place. So it's been nice. Like honestly, like we've been having a good time, like just decorating and like chilling on our couch and like watching TV. Like it's like a new experience for us because obviously we didn't have it before. So we've done like plenty of like movie nights just right here, get popcorn, put the TV on, and we're just chilling. So like, I'm not a complicated girl. I'm pretty simple.
Yeah, because there were times when I was like, all right, let's go out. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, oh no, I don't feel like going out today. I was like, really? Like, because I like all my other relationships, it was like, all right, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. And I'm trying to keep up. I'm like, sometimes I just want to chill.
That's why you found who you found.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just and then when she was like that, I was like, oh, like I don't have to do, like, I'm not saying that I'm slacking. Like I still want to go out and do those things, but I need someone that just knows how to chill. Like I have a conversation with you and we can just have a good time. Cause like, we're not always going to be going out to every single place. There'll be times that we're working, it's gonna be dead tired. Can I still have a good time with you in those times? Yeah, and I still can. Like, we'll just have a good time. Like, people probably hear us laughing. They don't know what's going on with us. But we just have a good time by ourselves, So
that's awesome to hear. And I love that because that's similar to how we are. Like, we'll just sit down and just be cracking jokes and laughing amongst ourselves. So a lot of people, when they see us, they think that we're not even married with kids. Like, we've had people ask us like, oh, did you just meet each other or did you just get engaged? And we're like, This is 10 years and counting. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, because we just have a good time. And here's a quick wrap up suggestion. My lovely husband here put on a wonderful stay at home date night for us. He came up with a scavenger hunt where at the end of it, I got a little gift. And he got dinner for us. So he set up the table nice with candles and champagne and stuff. And we also did like a questionnaire, which surprisingly, we didn't know a lot of the answers to the question about each other. So like, it was a question and like, he was supposed to answer like what my answer is. And I was supposed to answer what his answer is. And we had a lot of them wrong. And I was like, oh my God, like, how did we not know this about each other? So that was really fun last night. And I commend my Pookie for doing that.
That was last night too?
Yeah.
Get those points, bro. Get those points.
Okay.
I dibble dabble in the old romance.
I can't. Anyways.
But so intentional about it though. You really have to be so intentional.
You
I
do.
can see, like, now that we're married and stuff like that, I'm like saying to her, I'm like, what if we were like working, had like 3 kids, all this kind of stuff? I can see how easy it is to kind of like
Get lost.
Yeah, seriously.
You have to be very intentional. As a matter of fact, our last episode is like that. Like, why do people say marriage is hard? We definitely talked about that and why people say that. But thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you guys.
Really appreciate it. This is super fun.